Florence, Italy, the cradle of arts and culture, full of history and fashion, and yes, everywhere you look, food. In the middle of Italy, nestled in the heart of Tuscany, Florence, or Firenze, is known for its hearty boar ragu, its mouth-watering steak, and yes, the birthplace of gelato. A proper breakfast may be hard to find, but we are going to discover the perfect places. In this journey, I'll take you to the famous spots for the Schiacciata sandwich and some off-beaten places for cheap eats. I'm talking about a complete belt-busting meal for 15 bucks. And along the way, there'll be coffee galore and gelato after gelato. Ready for a trip to Florence, a food feasting guide? Buckle up, bring your appetite, and let's go.
Oh, they say you haven't been to Florence unless you've been to Antico Vinaio. Got it. Did I mention the spicy eggplant that's in there? They say you haven't been to Florence unless you've been to Antico Vinaio. I don't know what they're talking about. I've been living in this city for years and I haven't been. I've been to Florence, haven't I? Well, today I'm gonna go for the first time and get this special sandwich that's famous all around the world, made with this Schiacciata bread. I'm gonna take you there with me and show you what it's all about. And if you stick around to the end, I'm gonna take you to a few bonus places that you gotta know when you're here visiting Florence. Look, there's David. I bet he's been to Antico Vinaio. Surely he has. Yeah, if you don't know, that's a copy. The original was there, the statue that Michelangelo carved out of marble, but after so many years, they had to move it to a safe place over in the museum. A pretty good copy. Over there on Piazza Michelangelo, there's a bronze copy of it. That one Michelangelo did. Just down this way, and if you could see, there are already people lined up. There's a massive line of people waiting to get this sandwich. Look at that, there it is right there. That's the original location. This place was born in the 1960s and it boomed throughout the 80s. So popular that now they have 3 other locations on the other side of the road over here. If you've been here or if you'd like to go, give this video a thumbs up and let me know, because I'm curious. For me, I'm not gonna go to the new places. I'm gonna get myself in this long line back here to go to the original shop. Now that's a long line. Look at that, happy. They got their sandwiches right over there. I hope to get up there soon. This line is moving along pretty quickly. I set the timer to see how long it'll take. This is it, we're getting really close now. I gotta decide what I'm going to eat. I have an idea because I've been doing some research what you need to eat when you're here. I'm gonna show you the menu and then I'm gonna make my decision. Got it. I can't even contain myself. I'm already into it. It's delicious. I think you guys know which one I got. I got the favolosa. That's one of their original sandwiches. It has this pecorino, goat's cheese spread, an artichoke spread, and it has this Florentine salami that's just, it's really delicious. And it's on this bread. Now in Florence, it's known for its bread without any salt, but this Schiacciata bread, it has salt in there, has oil in there. It's delicious, especially when you add in all these ingredients here. This sandwich, the favolosa, it's very good. When you add in all these ingredients, it's magical, it's good. And Saveur magazine voted this one of the top sandwiches in the world, so think about it. You can just see the pecorino cheese coming out, the Florentine salami. Oh, and did I mention the spicy eggplant that's in there? Now, have any of you guys been to Antico Vinaio before? Drop some comments down below. Let me know if you've been there, if you get a sandwich shop like this in your neck of the woods. I know this place, they got an opening coming up in Rome. They have a shop in Milan, and they're opening up, no, it's already open. They got a shop open in New York City. Just think, back in the day, this Schiacciata with the salami on it, it was commonplace. No one really thought of it as anything special. Now, this little sandwich with the Schiacciata, with the special cheeses and salami, it's linked to Florence like Michelangelo's linked to Florence. It's got sex appeal. In all these years living in Florence, I've never had this. It's the first time. Okay, so when you're in Florence, put that place on your list. You gotta go to it. Don't be discouraged by the lines, and hats off to those guys working the lines, because the line went really quick. I forgot to look at my timer on my phone, but I think it was about 15 minutes in line, and actually actually is quite fun. You got to speak to some of the other people and just saw all the chaos and all the happiness as the people got the sandwiches from the shop and they're walking down the street, everybody digging into one of these. Now, as promised, I told you I was going to take you to some bonus places that you got to know when you're in here eating your way around Florence. But first, I'm going to finish this off. Okay, here's your bonus. When I want a sandwich in Florence, avoid the long lines, I come here, La Prosciutteria. They have good sandwiches, they have a few different locations, and this one right here is on the same street, Via dei Neri, that the other place is on, All'Antico Vinaio. Now, there's one more bonus place for you to visit when you're here. If you've been to the famous sandwich shop or any other place to eat for lunch in Florence, afterwards you're gonna need a coffee, and you gotta come here, Ditta Artigianale. Now let's get in there and have a coffee. You're here in the land of plenty, the land of food, and all you have is $20. How do you make the most of it? Savor the flavors. Well, that's my challenge. I'm gonna see how far 20 US can go in Florence, Italy. Make it a street food challenge in the home of Renaissance, and yes, the birthplace of gelato. Are you ready? Let's go. No US dollars? Grazie. Mini cornetto di cioccolato. E questi qua che cosa sono? Ah, okay. Okay, prendo quello. So this is the basic way to start your morning in Italy. Cappuccino e cornetto. That's a cappuccino and a brioche. And I got one here, this typical Florence with a specific cream. Now let's go get our coffee. So this is Cafe Concerto Pascalski, and it's a famous place here in Piazza Repubblica in Florence. It's probably gonna cost us a little bit more than if we went to a typical bar tabaccaria, but I think, especially in Florence, you need to go to a historical spot like this. Standing at the bar versus sitting down, you're gonna save yourself a lot of money because when you sit down, they can charge you anything. For the cappuccino and this cornetto, I paid €3.40. These are the guys you'll come across in Italy. These guys are barista. And they're serving up this goodness right here. Got the first cappuccino of the day. This place, as I was saying, it's a classic place. Started in 1907 by a Polish businessman. And well, in that time, you have to think back to the 17th and 18th centuries, cafe culture was popping up all over France. Then it came down here into Italy. This was the Renaissance period. Cafe Gili next door opened up and around in the 1700s or something. 1907, 1907, this place opened up. And well, it was first a birreria, and then it became Cafe Concerto Pascalski. Cafe Concerto Pascalski. And here they would have outdoor concerts, of course, that's why it's called Cafe Concerto, but also it was a society hub, a place where people would come together, talk politics, as they still do today. Ciao ragazzi. Buona domenica. So friendly in here. Now keep in mind, at the bar you get much more of an Italian experience when you stand there, have the brioche, have the coffee to start your day, and I recommend for you to start your day that way as well. Also, it's more budget friendly because if you take a table set out here, I was looking at this place for example, you're gonna have to pay €6.50 for a cappuccino to have a spot to sit down, but you may want to start off your day doing that. Just keep that in mind if you're on a budget. Oh, you gotta love Italy, the piazzas, the coffees, and just the atmosphere. Breathe it all in. Buongiorno. This is one of the street food must when you're in Italy, l'emprodotto. We're gonna try a little bit here. Posso avere un panino con l'emprodotto? Sure. is it right here, l'emprodotto. And if you want to know what l'emprodotto is, well, it's the innards of a cow. This is the fourth stomach of a cow, and it's goodness right there. Simple, just chopped up. The bun is soaked in some broth. You get some green sauce on there as well. And the l'emprodotto, well, l'emprodotto and tripe, in the past it was peasants' food, but now it's become kind of a go-to street food, especially here in Florence. You can get it in restaurants, but people usually eat it on the go in little stalls like this. And this is just by Mercato Nuovo and the famous Porcellino, the little pig that people roll the coins off of. And in fact, this place is called Tripaia del Porcellino. And at $5, well, this is a good bargain. Mattia was just explaining how they prepare this. Basically, they boil the cow's stomach in the broth for a few hours. The broth, well, it consists of onions, tomatoes, celery. They're a bunch of goodness. They also have another broth he was showing me that has a little bit of red wine in it as well. So it's soaked and it absorbs all that goodness, and then it's slapped here on a piece of bread. And you can also get it straight up in a little container of plastic if you don't want the extra carbs from the bread, but today we're going nuts. You take US dollars?
No, dollar no.
Mattia, grazie, ciao, buona giornata. So there you go. That was €5. We spent $3.40, I think, at the first place, so we're up to $8.40 so far, and the goodness keeps coming. Good, guys. Oh, it's Sunday in Florence. The sun is out, and there's so many tourists. But if you know the little spots to get to, you can find them. They're great little spots that don't have that many people there waiting in line. I'm going to drop links to all these places down in the description below. Also, I don't know if you've heard, but I have e-guides that I put out on eating in Italy, also traveling around Italy. Everything you need to know, you can download it, have it on your phone, in your pocket for when you're traveling around this beautiful country. Again, check out the link down in the description. Also, while you're down there, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed, just take that little subscribe button right down below. So this is perfect street food. Nothing says more street food than fried bread that's been dipped in oil, salted. The coccoli. Posso avere due coccoli?
Empty, sausage or cheese and rafforzino?
Quello prosciutto
Empty, ham and cheese.
Sì, quello con ham and cheese. Yeah, prosciutto.
Quanti?
Uno.
Ok.
E poi uno di salsicce.
Posso metterli insieme?
Sì, sì. So this is a low cost item, €3. Che cos'è questo?
Prosciutto di Casentino.
È prosciutto toscano.
Toscano fatto di Casentino.
You gotta love Italy. You go to these little spots like this, they serve you up a little sample. This is local prosciutto made out in the countryside here. And we're gonna have this in one of the fried balls. They're called coccoli. In Italian it means cuddle. So it's a warm, cuddling treat. It's a perfect name for them. So these were started here in Florence as kind of a food to have along with a glass of beer or a glass of wine. And they've become a typical street food here in Florence, and they're cheap. You can order as many as you want. So we're getting the ones with the Tuscan prosciutto and stracchino cheese, the soft cow's cheese. If you're walking around Florence, you can get these balls. They'll be served up in a cone. You can grab them. It's the perfect food to take on the go when you're out sightseeing at the Duomo or the Uffizi. Do you have any tourists here? Tanti turisti?
Sì. Ora se il tempo c'è il sole è meglio.
Today's Sunday and Florence is packed full of tourists. But if you wander around, you can find all these little hidden gems like this. Just great spots to come in and have so many treats. Here, of course, they also do the famous l'emprodotto. They also do the Schiacciata. But I recommend this place to come and get the coccoli, to come for a little bit of cuddles. Ciao! Well, right there, you saw him loading up all the Schiacciata, the big flat pieces of bread. One of those famous dishes you also have to try here in Florence, but that place I recommend to go there for the coccoli. I have another spot for the Schiacciata right down this way. I Fritellini, and it's a little hole-in-the-wall place. They've been here for so many years, and you gotta get here early because around 6 p.m. they're closed. So we're waiting in line here. We're gonna get up there and we're gonna make our order. Schiacciata. All over Italy you can get focaccia, but only here in Florence, Schiacciata.
Yes, Schiacciata we say in Florence.
What is Schiacciata?
Schiacciata is a kind of bread. This is Schiacciata. Schiacciata is a kind of bread. It's flat. People say flat. And this is panino. Panino is a little smaller. It is Schiacciata. And you choose the bread. It's a little salty instead of the other bread.
So this is a classic little spot. The famous one in Florence is all'antico vinaio, but there are too many people here. So this little place, I Fertellini, you get here, you gotta wait in line, but you're gonna get a good schiacciata, which is just what the Florence people call smashed bread, and you see that there.
Bread. Schiacciata is like smashed.
Smashed bread. How much?
It's for you.
No,
It's okay, it's okay.
No.
It's a present for us. It's a good occasion to know our food in the world.
Well, there you go. It's the kind
Thanks
Florence.
so much. Grazie mille.
Cheers, guys. Have a good
Have a
one.
good day.
Have a good
Grazie.
day.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Well, we've got a lot more budget now. They just offered me this schiacciata for free. Such kind people here that are serving up. This is a classic one with pecorino cheese and it looks like what is prosciutto or speck on there. Schiacciata, it's not a focaccia. Focaccia is, you'll see it all over Italy. That's a soft kind of oily bread. This is a hard, crunchy bread with just the right amount of salt and just the right amount of oil.
Grazie. Many thanks.
You're gonna have to spend your time waiting in line because we're getting near the lunch hour and you see that line is wrapped up down this way. But this is nothing compared to what you're gonna find on Via de' Neri, all'antico vinaio. I made another video about that place. That place is much more famous and much more crowded. My advice, come to this place around the time of 11 o'clock or later in the afternoon, maybe around 3 o'clock, not during the prime hours of lunch. But it's worth it. The budget is going well today. We have some money left over now for, I think, should be one of the final things you should add on your list when you're here in Florence. And we're gonna travel just on the south side of the river out of the main heart of the city for this. As a point of reference, when you're here in Florence, this is the River Arno and it separates north and south from the historical center over here to the other side of the river. And this is what's called Oltre Arno, the other side of the Arno. Well, street food in Italy, when you're talking about street food, it's the gelato. It's the perfect thing that you can have, walk around with in your hand. If you're in Italy on a warm summer's day, a gelato is a perfect treat. I went with mango and frutti di bosco, mixed berry and mango. And the reason also you have to get gelato in Florence out of any place in Italy is it was invented here in Florence by Bernardo Bontalenti, and yes, the birthplace of gelato. In the 1500s, around 1565, he was working with the Medici family and they created what we now know as gelato. And we thank him. These places here, these gelaterias, maybe they're not the best. I think they're pretty darn good though. But I call them the holy trinity of gelaterias in Florence, the holy trinity of ice cream shops. This is the one we went to here, Carraia, Gelateria Carraia. There's another one up there, Gelateria Trinità. And then further on in Piazza Passera, there's Gelateria dalla Passera, the holy trinity of ice cream shops. Because you have the Arno River right here. You have a perfect seat to sit down and enjoy your gelato. And on the other side of the river, you have the historic old town, so you can sit back, relax with your gelato, and take in the view. Oh, so much goodness. And my $20 went a long way. $20, that's around about €18.50. I paid $3.40 for the cappuccino and the cornetto, and then for the lampredotto I paid €5. For the two balls, the two coccoli, I paid €3, $1.50 each. The Schiacciata, that would have cost me €6 at I Fratellini, but they gifted me that, so thanks to them. And then the gelato, a little 2-flavor cone of gelato, only €2. So you tally all that up on your calculator, and what do you get to? Well, €19.40. Went over the budget by about €1. But really, in Italy, with $20 US, you can really make it go a long way, and we did so today. Italy, typically for breakfast at the bars, all you get is a coffee and a croissant. You need more than that to start your day.
It's arrived. Here it is. This thing looks delicious. Good morning. Today I'm going to take you out for breakfast. Now, Italy is not known for its great breakfast, but here in Florence, Italy, there's a good spot that I've heard about that I'm going to take you to that has everything you want and great coffee as well. So it should be a perfect way to get going this morning. It's 6 o'clock out there. So what a great way to get out and explore the city, get a good breakfast to kickstart the day. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to list for you the top 5 breakfast spots when you're here in Florence visiting. We gotta get going. Let's get out there and explore.
Now in Italy, typically for breakfast at the bars, all you get is a coffee and a croissant, but that doesn't do. So when I'm in Italy, when I'm out and about looking for a place to have breakfast, I would look for a place that has granola, fruits, pancakes, maybe some waffles as well. And doing some research, I've seen some top places here in Florence, and look at this morning right now. It's great being up early. Normally these places right here are packed full of people having a lunch. Right there's Palazzo Pitti, about 8 o'clock right now, heading across town where the place just opens up right at 8 o'clock, so it should be perfect timing. Up and over Ponte Vecchio, getting over there, we're heading over to the north side of town, and that's where this place is located, where I'm gonna have my breakfast. Let's talk for a minute about what Italians typically do at breakfast. At home, they pour themselves a coffee from the mocha pot, maybe have some little biscotti, sweet cookies, or some of this hard bread that they put some jam on, and then they're out the door. If you go to the bar, they're in and out. They don't mess about. They get to the bar, they order cappuccino, they down it, and they're out of there. They take it standing up. It's breakfast standing up. They don't have the slow American breakfast that we're used to. They have a fast breakfast, and that's just not my style. That does not look good. They're having a brioche with some pistachio cream inside and a coffee. You need more than that to start your day. This is it, La Meningere. Let's get in there and get some food. Now, one very important word in Italy is colazione, and there it is right there. I'm looking at the list now, I gotta make my decision. Made my decision, went down the list, got the poached egg on some avocado on a bagel, toasted. This place, La Meningere, it's really beautiful inside. There's a florist here. Back there, there's a chef's table. It's a really long table. They were closed for 1 year, and now they're reopened. And it's arrived. Here it is. This thing looks delicious. Maybe it's not as big as I hoped it would be, to be honest, but smells good, it's fresh, good egg. It's what I need to start my day with. None of that croissant with a cappuccino standing up at the bar business. It's good, it's good. And now I'm gonna take a walk around this place. I'm gonna show you some of the different rooms here because this place is pretty awesome. Here you see the florist right here. And then back in here, that's the main area where you walk in. So they have this area, you walk in there, you got tables, little couches, area back here. It's really cool what they did with the lighting right here. And come in here, check this area out. Look at this long table here. You can reserve the whole table for all your friends, or just reserve a section and have dinner here. And it just goes on and on until you get back up here. There's a grand piano here, and this is the whole separate dining area, naturally lit up there. And you got the chef's table back that way. The chef's back there cooking, and look at this room. Here's the room right here. Oh, that's romantic. Imagine having a dinner in here. Look at that, and then there's a chef's table and another kitchen back that way. It's really got a good atmosphere, a good vibe in this place, a little private room there. This is a new private room up here. It's still not finished, but you'll be able to sit up here, have a cocktail, all these little coves, little secret spots where you can just relax and enjoy an evening. And if you like it, they even do have the classic Italian croissant brioche, so you can have those for breakfast as well. If that's your pleasure, it's not mine. So this is the big bar here where they serve up cocktails, they serve up the cappuccinos, the coffees. You can come in here, stand at the bar like an Italian, have a quick cappuccino, have a croissant, and get out of here. Or you can just have a quick coffee and then go sit down and have a bigger breakfast. This is the whole outside area here. Really amazing and pretty cool to be here in the summertime because you have all these seats here and you can sit over there, have a drink at the tables there and watch the whole world go by, all of Florence. It's look at that, amazing, all those flowers. So this is it, just a few steps from Borgo San Lorenzo and you get right in here, Le Menagere. It's definitely worth discovering and one of my places for breakfast here in Florence. Look at this, I want to show you something right here. See these all around Florence, these little holes that you'll see in the old buildings? These are the old ancient wine doors. Now the people in these buildings, they used to be able to sell, all the old families used to be able to sell wine out of those doors. So you think back in the day, you could show up there with your bottle, you'd hand the family your empty bottle and they would give you back a bottle full of wine. And it's wine that they produced out in the countryside, in their farms, on their vineyards, and they would sell it outside from their palazzi here in the town, just outside of their big mansions. They give you the bottle of wine and you'd be set to go. That's pretty cool. And they preserve these wine doors now, so you see them all around, and they even have a website where you can see all the different wine doors around Florence. So it's something to look out for when you're here. Those ladies there were having some sort of orgasm just looking at the Duomo right here. It is breathtaking. I wanted to mention, I mentioned at the start of my video, my top 5 breakfast places if you're here in Florence. So how would I rate them? You want to check them out? Number 1, I would check out Ditta Artigianale. It's the place I always go. You've seen in all my videos for coffee. They have a good breakfast as well. Number 2, Palazzo, and it's this beautiful hotel. They have this big open room with plenty of natural light coming in there where you can sit and enjoy breakfast with all the fine china and flatware. It's a good place to check out. And another place, Le Vespe, and I'm gonna walk over there right now to have a look at it. I've never been there. And along the river, there are a couple places, Cafe dell'Oro, and you're right there by Ponte Vecchio. You're probably gonna spend a little bit more money there. And another place is further down, again on the river, Mela Leluca Bakery and Bistro. You're gonna wanna check that out. They do a great cappuccino and they have some beautiful looking breakfast place. So those are my top 5 if you're here visiting in Florence and you'll want a good breakfast. My rating for the place, 1 out of 10, I give it an 8 for that breakfast. Food, I would rate it a 7. Ambiance, 10 out of 10. Very beautiful location. Price, maybe 5 out of 10. For one breakfast and a cappuccino, I paid €13. So that's something to think about and do your research for yourself when you're here in Florence. Have you been here in Florence before? Have you had breakfast? What are your top places? Or where you live, what are the top places for breakfast? Let me know down in the comments your favorite breakfast spot. Place is really packing out. This pasta though, this is what Italy does best. I just heard the old woman there calling out the desserts with the tight menu and the plastic on the tablecloth. They're really going with this vibe. They really can't get more authentic than this. Visiting Florence, you'll be feasting, eating like a champion, dining like a god. However, you may be in and out of touristy spots on a path well worn by others before you. Today I'm going to show you how to eat like a local, like a Fiorentino, in a place that's off the beaten path with prices at least half of what you'd pay elsewhere, and most importantly, with delicious food. I'm standing at the gate in San Ferdinando, a neighborhood on the south side of Florence. Passing through this gate, or porta, just on the outside, you'll find this local gem, Trattoria Sabatino. Now let's go eat. right away. This place is amazing. You enter, there's a little delicatessen up front if you want to get some cheeses or some meats to take away. There's this old pre-war refrigerator at the front, and then you're seated down here at the tables. They're covered with tablecloths and then plastic to protect the tablecloths. They just gave me some bread and water and the menu. Look at this. It's typed out in basic font, and in some cases they scratched over some names and made some corrections. It's basic, limited, but you know you're gonna get good food here. I just got some tagliatelle, some long pasta with the meat ragu sauce. I got pork from the oven coming out and a side dish of cecchi. Now this place opened at 12 noon today, and right away you could see the workers filing in, also some locals that seem to be living around here coming in for their daily lunch. What's cool here is very cafeteria style, so they'll set people down at tables together, a very social atmosphere. This is amazing. Right away, the first plate has arrived. It literally arrived 2 minutes after I ordered it. Now I asked, this pasta is not made here in the restaurant, but they get it from a local producer right next door. So you're getting fresh pasta, which I think is about €5 for this. The place is really packing out. This pasta though, it's so simple. This is what Italy does best. Simple pasta with the beef ragu sauce. Just easy and delicious. Madhouse here. Now you can see the tables all around are filling up. People are joining at my table as well. Everybody, all the clients are in. I was speaking to the people here. They're coming from an office next door, and I think they come here quite regular. This place really feels like a community center. It's got that mess hall type vibe. It's so authentic. You really can't get more authentic than this when you're in Florence. It's been around since 1956, so around 70 years. And with the tight menu and the plastic on the tablecloths, these tables and chairs from the 1920s, it seems that they're really going with this vibe. They're embracing it and they're running with it, and it works here. And above all, what matters is that the pasta's good. Look at this. The second course has arrived. Roast pork from the oven and chickpeas. I'm getting my protein fill today. Delicious, simple, and really it's the olive oil, the extra virgin olive oil from here in Tuscany that really picks up the dish to another level. And this pork, smells just perfect. The broth just dripping off right there. You see that? Now you can put salt and pepper on this pork, but you really don't need it. With the broth, it just tastes perfect. The way they brought it out of the oven, warm, right on the table, and so quick here. It's tender, it's juicy. What gets me about this place is I've eaten in better places. It's just so simple. It's business-like. It's a local place. Everybody packs in here between 12 and 1:30, and it's just magical. Just getting the last of these delicious chickpeas right here. I just heard the old woman there calling out the desserts, what they have on the menu. I think it's gonna be good. It's a crostato, basically chantilly cream there with grapes on top. They have this strawberry flavor, dusted with a little bit of sugar. I couldn't resist. Look at that. It's beautiful. And really the plates here come out so quickly. It's amazing. They got big churn over here, quickly bringing out the plates. Everybody's satisfied. And this is what I needed right here to wash it all down with. Now stick with me. Once we get outside, I'm going to explain to you how much I paid to eat like a local here in Florence and how much you can pay when you visit Florence, a place like this. Now let's get out of here. Ciao. This place, so good. Woohoo! I ate like a king because this place, it's the soul of San Frediano. So how much did I pay? Well, first, please hit that subscribe button down below and join the community. So I paid €19.50, and that included the pasta with the ragu. It included that pork from the oven. It included the chickpeas, and it also included that delicious dessert and a coffee with a little dash of milk, the cafe macchiato for $19.50. Sure, if you're only here for one day, you wouldn't want to make Trattoria Sabatino your only dining experience. There are plenty of other places here in Florence, romantic places with candles, attentive service, and long wine lists. Go to those places. I go to those places, and I love them. But this place is rough and rugged, off the beaten path, unpretentious. Everything if you want to experience how a local eats in Florence. Taste of Tuscany in your mouth. Come to Florence, you'd be mistaken not to stop in for a steak. Your bistecca alla Fiorentina. When you come to Italy and visit the Renaissance capital here on Florence, high on your list should be indulging in the culinary delights. There are several things that should be on your bucket list. Drinking Chianti wine, eating pasta with wild boar ragu, and what we're going to do today, diving deep into a thick, juicy steak. As you roam the streets here in Florence, you'll be looking for a place that sells what the locals call bistecca, or bistecca alla Fiorentina. And I have a special treat for you today because I'm going to take you to one of the best known grills in town, Trattoria d'Aloste. And along the way, I'm going to be trying to explain to you what is a bistecca alla Fiorentina and why you should be putting it high on your list when you're here in town, and what makes it so darn special and perhaps one of the best steaks in the world. And this is it right here, Trattoria d'Aloste, in a side street just down from the Duomo. Now let's go eat. The bistecca alla Fiorentina dates back to the time of the Medici family here in Florence. There are different rules about what makes a steak a bistecca alla Fiorentina. We got the menu here. There are several different items in here, including pasta. There's fish as well. But when you come to a restaurant like this here in Florence, you gotta get a slab of meat. It's time. Okay, of course we're getting the steak.
Okay.
Yeah, we want the canina bistecca alla Fiorentina.
Sure.
And this is Vieni. This is our waiter.
Hello.
He's true Italian. There we go, from Naples and Florence. So here we go. When you come to a Florence steakhouse, you don't ask for a steak well done.
No, well done. No.
This is obviously very raw before it's cooked. 1 month
25
aged.
days.
It's a canina, and a canina cow is these white cows. They're about
White cow, yes.
They're taller than you or I. Typical here of Tuscany. All right, bring it on. So the bistecca, this steak, it's a minimum 3 to 4 fingers thick, very thick, and it's brought to room temperature 3 to 4 hours before it's grilled. It's grilled on both sides twice. We're gonna get to go in the kitchen. So there, you just put it on the grill, drizzled some salt on it, very simple. Quante volte si gira la bistecca? So every side of the steak, they do it twice on the grill. So at the end, they flip it on its side, and we're gonna see that. And that way, all the fat. How long in total is it on the grill for? I think the fire alarm's going off. 4 minutes over there on each side. On its side here, 2 minutes. And then the final trick is they put it in the oven, 2 minutes there. Wow, it's truly a treat to be able to come back into the kitchen of a steakhouse here in Florence and to see how all the magic happens. Our steak it's coming, it's grilling along fine. This is so much different than you do outside, an outside barbecue at home. These guys are professionals, and you know it's gonna be grilled to perfection. Because I'm back in the kitchen, I get to order how I want my steak, specifically down to the last second of cooking. So he asked me, how do I want it? I said, I want kind of a crusty edge to it. He's doing a special trick there on this hot iron there. Now you see it flipped on its side, and soon it's gonna be in our mouth. I'm salivating. Oh, fame. Now this place is famous, you have to consider, so they get a lot of guests through here. They have like 3 or 4 locations in Florence. Here alone, he just told me they do 180 to 200 steaks a day in this kitchen. Whoa, what an experience. All right, we're down to it now. All right, we got it. He just poured the wine. We're getting into it. When you have steak, you gotta go red wine. Our antipasti has arrived, and these are our starters. We got pulled cuts, some cheese, some bread with some, here's the fegato. That's the liver. The bread's arriving. The steak is back there. It's coming along. So we're gonna warm up on these, get our stomachs ready for the big steak to come. These tomatoes taste so fresh. It's the perfect way to start and get ready. When you visit Italy, make sure you come with an empty stomach. Make sure you're coming ready to put on a lot of kilos, a lot of wine, a lot of cheeses, a lot of meat. That it's arrived. Looks a lot smaller, but this is 1.2 kilos of steak. This is the bistecca alla Fiorentina. And really the best way to describe this is without words, is to just eat the damn thing. It's moist, it's very delicate, it's soft. They put a little bit of salt on the top and that's it, that's all you need. You got some rosemary here on the side. They sliced it up. We saw the chef earlier there in the kitchen. This is the finest cow, the white beast in Tuscany. It doesn't get any bigger than this. This is the biggest cattle there is. This is the female cow. Now it's the best to get the female canina when you get the bistecca alla Fiorentina. These cows are huge. They can weigh up to 1,000 kilograms or 1,800 kilograms in the case of the bull. This is a sort of paradise here. It's raw, it's beef, and you can smell the grill, you can smell the seasoning. They slightly salted and that's it. And if you want to, drizzle a little bit of olive oil on there, but you really don't need to. With a knife, you don't need it. You don't need a knife. You can just grab it with your teeth. It's so soft, so tender. They call this the king of steaks. I think maybe it is. Now sometimes because it's rare, it may be a lot to chew, and the best thing I can offer, the best suggestion, is just to wash it down with some wine. Buono, buonissimo as they say in Italian. You need to eat a steak. That's #1 on your list in Florence. Ah, look at that. So we come here around 5 o'clock this evening. We beat the crowd. As we've been here, this place has been filling up. This place is widely known because they market it well. So they're gonna get a lot of tourists in here, but they do well. This is modern steak cooking here in Florence. If you want something traditional, there are more traditional steakhouses around Florence. And at the end of the video, stick with me because I'll explain where you can find those places. If you're enjoying this video, a like would be much appreciated. If you want to support me and all the videos I'm making, please click that super like down below. Your last bits, there's really only one thing to do, is just grab it, suck the meat off this T-bone here. Don't be afraid, this is precious meat, it's delicious. You get all the tender bits here next to the bone. This is what we worked our way to tonight. There's so much meat left on here. You're getting a value for this. I don't know what we're paying, but there's a lot of meat. Your bistecca alla Fiorentina. Ragazzi, ciao! Ciao! These guys are so good. Gotta get down to this place. Stick with me. Once we get outside, I'm gonna let you know how much everything costs, what you're gonna need to pay when you come to this place. So I'm getting a new subscriber right now. And just a reminder, if you haven't yet subscribed, please click the subscribe button down below. He's doing Grazie. Oh, look at these guys right here. What a feast. And when you get out here, you're right in the middle of downtown Florence. There are a few other places I recommend here in downtown Florence, in the center. That place there is kind of big on the marketing, and they do a lot of marketing around the world. They're more modern. Well, I boiled it down to 3 different options for you if you don't go to Trattoria dell'Oste. Go to the more authentic place, the more down-home cooking place here in the center of town called Trattoria Mario. It's a tight atmosphere. You may have to wait to get in there to get a table. And that's also a case for my second place over on the south side where I live. It's called Brindolone, full of locals. You won't get many tourists there, but you're gonna have a hard time getting a reservation. Hey there, sorry to interrupt. Have you heard? I'm putting out a regular email newsletter with travel tips and hacks and other exclusive content such as videos that you may not find here on the YouTube channel. There's a link to join down in the description below. The third option I would recommend is up on the north side of town, a little bit more off the beaten path. It's called Perseus, and that place is rich, full of colors. When you're sitting down, you'll just feel embraced by warmth and you'll get a good steak. Now, what about the cost? What did I pay there for dinner at Trattoria dell'Oste? Well, in total, for 2 people, with the steak of 1,200 grams, 1.2 kilograms, 2 antipasti, 2 appetizers, a bottle of red Chianti wine. In total, I paid 167 euro, which is a little bit more on the expensive side, but you have to consider you're eating one of the most prized meals when you come to Tuscany, La Bistecca Fiorentina, and you're in the center of town, in the center of Renaissance, the heart of Italy. I think it's a great price and a great place to spend the night, just enjoying and getting a better understanding of what is the bistecca alla Fiorentina. When you're in Florence, you gotta come to Il Contadino. I'm gonna tell you about all the details, the pricing, where it is, and what you need to know. Keep watching in the video. I'm gonna hop on one of these city bikes over here, and I'm gonna take you to this fabulous place to eat in Florence that only cost you, well, stick around to the end of the video because it's a bargain, and I'm gonna show you the price and give you all the details. Isn't this pretty amazing? Right over there to my right, you got Ponte Vecchio. All the Sunday crowd is out. I hope they're not crowding the restaurant. I gotta get there soon. Just some information, Italians usually lunch at 1 o'clock. Because this is a tourist town, you get some people eating early. The restaurant I'm going to doesn't even open until 12 o'clock. So the 12 o'clock is the earliest time you can eat. And you can't really go into a restaurant and eat any later than 3 p.m. Okay, this is the area. It's called the area of Santa Maria Novella. It takes the name after the church over there, and the train station, the main train station in Florence, also takes the same name, Santa Maria Novella. There's that beautiful church with the black and white marble on front of it. It's not a very beautiful area. It's near the train station, so you don't get too many tourists in this area, but there are some hidden gems in this area and some great values to be had. And we're right here at Il Contadino. I just spoke to the owner, Francesco. He said in about 10 minutes he's gonna have a table for us, and we're gonna get in there and get some food. Yeah, I'm getting the tagliatelle with wild boar sauce. David's putting in his order. Did you get the wild boar sauce? Yeah. He's got the wild boar sauce too, so we're getting 2 of those. What's next? What do you recommend for a second plate? And for the second plate, the paposa al impruneta, which is basically a wild beef stew with black pepper, a lot of black pepper. And I just heard the wine's included. I was about ready to order a glass. It's included. Albeit this is house wine, but it should be pretty good wine. So in that 15 euro, you're getting a heck of a bargain. This sauce, when you're in Tuscany, when you're in Florence, you gotta have it. Wild boar sauce. They hunt these boars out in the countryside. If you've never seen a big wild boar, they are massive, massive, massive animals, and they make a great ragu. And it just keeps on coming. You ready for this? That's the beef stew with pepper, the paposa al impruneta, and we got a little side dish here, eggplant, melanzana. Oh, already after that pasta with the wild boar sauce, I'm feeling full, but I'm ready to get into this. This is a great Sunday here. You can tell it's been slow cooked in a wine sauce. Just the right amount of pepper in there. Oh, wash it down with a bit of red wine. Oh, what a lunch. And look at the crowd out here. Everybody's waiting. Must be a popular spot on a Sunday with this many people. It was well worth it. I tell you, I think I ate too much in there, but you get a great value for your money. And the cool thing is I met the owner, Francesco. He's been in business there for 10 years, whipping out those good solid dishes. You have a few different menus to choose from, but you know what I need now? A coffee, and I'm walking right here in the center, Piazza Repubblica. I'm heading over to one of my favorite coffee shops over here on Via dei Neri, and I'll take you there with me. And then we're gonna go to the details of what you need to know, how you need to find Il Contadino. Okay, this is better. Ditta Artigianale. You know this is a place that always a little bit of cold brew. The details, what do you need to know about going to Il Contadino? It's on Via Palazzuolo. It's in the Zona Santa Maria Novella, Santa Maria area near the train station. And there on Via Palazzuolo, you see many different restaurants. There's also Trattoria del Giorgio, which is also a good place with a low-priced fixed menu. And another place you might try is Osteria dal Centopolvere, another good restaurant, all on that same street. It's a little bit off the beaten path if you're here in Florence doing the whole tourist thing, but I recommend that area, getting out of the center, going over there, exploring a bit, checking out those different restaurants, and definitely put Trattoria Il Contadino on your to-do list. In all my travels around Italy, I found one super coffee shop, and for me, luckily, that's here in Florence. Today, I'm gonna take you to Ditta Artigianale, and I'm gonna show you why it's the best. Look at it, here it is right here. I've never been inside this place. I'm super excited to check it out. So good. Now this has everything you want in the Italian coffee experience. Baristas slaving away at the machines back there, customers knocking back espressos at the bar, and the overall vibe, because after all, this is Florence. Now there is substance to back up this coffee shop. Francesco Sanapo and Patrick Hoffer began this coffee shop a decade ago, back in 2013. Well, they first started roasting coffee beans, supplying coffee shops, then they opened up their first coffee shop, which is about 500 meters away from here, really in the heart of Florence. Then they opened up their second one, which is over near my house, and my favorite coffee shop to visit. I'm always there. And now this one in Piazza Sant'Ambrogio, the Sant'Ambrogio area. Unlike many of the coffee shops that pride themselves on having Italian coffee, Ditta Artigianale, when the locals and tourists come in, they deliver. It does so with specifically sourced coffee beans. They've made the trips to South America and other locations to meet the farmers, visit the plantations, and find the perfect coffee beans for their roastery and for the coffee shops. They roast their own beans, so they control what they're using here in the coffee shop with specific roast and blends. Now they train and support their baristas to a level you don't normally see in Italy. Some go on to compete in national and global championships, and basically all of this ensures that you're getting an excellent cup of coffee. A little break to try a coffee from a normal bar right here near the Duomo. Let's go over there and order a cappuccino. Actually, this doesn't look that bad. Pretty horrible. Remember, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Now back to Ditta Artigianale. Look at this beautiful location. It's built in an ex-convent. They also have seating outside here, and it's a perfect place to relax if you want to get some fresh air and get away from all that music inside the coffee shop. Now, most coffee shops in Italy, they fail at delivering innovation across the counter. They make your espressos, they make your cafe macchiato, they make your cappuccinos, but a lot of the times the milk is not frothed right or the coffee beans come from some unknown source. Looking around the world, the consumers want so much more, and that matters when introducing your clients, your local clients, to new drinks and satisfying the large number of tourists that are in Italy and here in Florence. On the menu, Ditta Artigianale has all the usual drinks, but they also have other drinks like flat whites, pour overs, the AeroPress, drips, cold brew, and I even saw a cold brew tonic they were just making in there. Ditta Artigianale had already stepped up its game. It's the alternative for the Italian purist with variety and soul and everything else you'd want in a cup of coffee. If you come to Italy, you gotta have ice cream, gelato. Well, I'm in Florence. I'm gonna hit up two gelaterie today. One in the center and one, well, right there. Stick with me in the rest of the video. I'm gonna give you all the details about where to go and what to do. Today, I'm gonna take you to what they say are some of the best ice cream shops, gelateries, in Florence, Italy, and stick around to the end of the video because I'm gonna talk about the magic of Italian gelato. Now let's go get going to get some ice cream. If you're ever in Florence, this is one of the places you gotta come. This is the old market here, and this is where all the leather purse bag vendors, you can buy a belt, a lot of racket up there. And also over there is the famous Porcellino. You roll a dime or nickel or euro off its nose. If it goes in the fountain or not, there's something about fortune and good luck. Oh, the good smell of leather in there. All right, now we're gonna go find this first gelateria. It's one I looked up that's supposed to be pretty good here, and it's right in the center. It's called Perché No. Steps away from Piazza Repubblica, the Duomo's down that way, and here we are, Perché No. Oh, I can't pronounce the name of that street. I'll put the links to all these down below. Gelateria Perché No. Chocolate with rum and orange. Maybe I could change my outlook on gelato. Good. That's Ciro, and he's just explaining that his gelateria, he promises me, is all artigianale, made with only locally sourced ingredients, made by hand in the back there every morning, and they're quite famous world around, especially in Asia. With 4 stores in Korea. Perché No is worldwide. Why not? Some tangerine here. Oh, you just get the flavor of the fruit itself. Oh, okay. That was all right. That was all right for someone who doesn't normally like gelato or ice cream. Now, I have another one to go to, so we're gonna go to that one and get filled up on ice cream. Right over that way is the second ice cream shop we're going to, and it's a famous one. We're gonna get to it now. It's on the south side of the river here in Florence. The other one's on the north side, the proper center of Florence. A lot of racket over there. We're gonna get over there, crossing the bridge there, and we're on target. Here it is, La Carraia, Gelateria Carraia. We're getting in there. I always see so many people outside this place, so it must be good. My second one, mango and salted peanut. It's a good combination. Not too bad either. And also, I just tried a little sample of their Schiacciata. It's this famous salted, oily bread in Florence, and they made it into an ice cream. I wouldn't recommend it. What do you think? The best gelateria in town?
Yes.
What flavors did you get?
Yogurt and Nutella and crema. Yogurt and cookies.
Enjoy. Just met the owners, Eleonora and her husband, Massimo. They've been in business here for 30 years, and this is quite a popular spot because right here you have the river, so a lot of the students come here, they grab a gelato, especially during the summertime. This place is packed. They just chill out there along the river, and you should do it too. Get your gelato. Where's my gelato? A little bit of information. They're open every day, hours from 11 o'clock in the morning, so you can get your fix right at 11 o'clock, right before lunch, to midnight. You can chill out after you had dinner, get a gelato. That's what the Italians do. They get a gelato after dinner, and then they do the passeggiata. They just walk around aimlessly around town. If you see someone walking around aimlessly, they're probably Italian.
Passion fruit and berry.
It's supposed to be the best in Florence.
For sure, for sure.
Whoa, 2 Italian ice creams in the space of 1 hour. Whoa, my head is spinning around like the blades of a helicopter. It was good. Both places were good, but we're gonna get into all those details. Just what I need after a couple gelatos. What's the difference between gelato and ice cream? Do you know? Gelato has more milk and less cream than they use in ice cream. That's typically the difference between gelato and ice cream. The other thing they have here is, of course, sorbetto, and that's made without milk. And then also many of these places do milk alternatives like soy ice cream as well. Let's talk about the price because it's a bargain. You get that ice cream just for €2, and that's for 2 scoops on a cone. That is a bargain. I'm not sure what you're paying for Baskin Robbins in the United States or Brahms if you go to one of those in the United States, but here it's a lot less expensive and it's a deal to be had. So get as much gelato as you want. You can also have it put in a styrofoam container to take it away and eat it at home. I still got chocolate on my teeth.